this point of the season, and also what the future could hold for him should he wrap up the title this year.
The next goal is to win the championship, but it's the goal of everyone. This championship in all of the terms has very high level. The discipline that all the riders have and all the effort that they put in all of the time, all of the days and all of the places they are, it's so big. I think the Rookies Cup is the place that all the great riders come. The ultimate goal this year will be win the championship. I feel very confident. This will be a dream, no? That I think, and we're still mid-season, but for sure I try to do my best and fight with all I have.
So what a day we've had here in Assen, absolutely fantastic. And Dominika, where were you watching qualifying?
Well, I was actually on the service row with Danny, a rider coach, in corner 7. Really enjoying this extreme Dutch heat, 37 degrees today and 58 on the tarmac. How about you, Peter?
Well, I was in the pit lane, in the cauldron that is the pit lane. They seem to trap the heat. And it was fascinating to watch the practice, see the times clicking up on the board, and see Beñat Fernandez, of course, he's our points leader, towing so many riders around. They all wanted a tow from Beñat. Some did a better job than others.
And now I think we're ready for some incredible action from the fastest teenagers on the planet. So you can go to the commentary box, join Matt Dan, and guys, stay tuned because now it's action time.
Well, hello and welcome to Assen, the Cathedral of Speed. We're at the Dutch GP and it is still absolutely sweltering. Unfortunately, I found out the horrible way. There is actually no air conditioning in this particular commentary box, which will be notes for next year should we come back. Peter, welcome to the commentary box. You must be so out of breath, sprinting so fast to get here.
Yeah, well, not quite. Anyway, yeah, there's the some people in view enjoying a great view there in the wheel or out in the sun. Still, some of the spectators staying on for the end of the day, and the best event of the day, of course, the Rookies Cup action. But a big change at the end of qualifying, Matt.
Yeah, well, qualifying was fairly dramatic, wasn't it? Plenty of penalties for our riders on the grid here, and we've actually got mainly just 4 key penalties, but plenty of others have had some significant sort of slaps on the wrist, let's say, metaphorically speaking. So for this race today, it will actually be Sullivan Mounsey taking off from pole position ahead of David Gonzalez and Ryota Okiwara.
I mean, Sully did a brilliant job in practice anyway, and then qualifying. He put himself on the front row of the grid. He was super confident. He ran well all the way through the 2 free practices and through qualifying. He said after qualifying, I just feel really confident. All the hard work over the last few months is paying off, and he said, I'm sure I'm going to have a good race. I'm really feeling it, he said.
Yeah, well, Sully certainly looking strong in the free practice sessions. He was 8th overall across the 2 of them. But your series leader, Beñat Fernandez, was actually the fastest in free practices. But as you sort of mentioned in the pre-show, Peter, he was towing a lot of other riders around. So what really happened in qualifying yesterday? Talk us through it.
Well, that's right. I mean, Beñat did get frustrated. He said, you know, he was out and he just sees the guys. He's in front. He's trying to go for a quick lap, and there's people all in front of him looking around, waiting for him to go past so that they can chase him. And in fact, you know, he put in sort of his quickest lap, and flashing across the line behind him were Guillaume Planck and Fernando Barrosa, and they were the guys who actually took the first and second quickest time, purely because they got the tow at the crucial moment from Beñat Fernandez, who actually ended up with the 6th fastest time. He's he was promoted to 4th on the grid. He heads the second row thanks to those penalties for Guillaume Planck and Fernando Bajosa, among others. So they dropped from 1st and 2nd down, well down. In fact, they've dropped down to the 5th row of the grid. So they start 13th and 14th because of too many slow sections.
You might be able to see in the left of your shot there, Alejandra Fernandez will not be racing here this weekend. She suffered a couple of broken toes in a nasty accident at the end of play yesterday with that unfortunate mucking around.
Well, the mucking around, and we addressed the rookies this morning actually, and said, look, this has all got to stop. It's all very well having the penalties, but when you have when these things generate a serious accident, and we were very, very lucky that the leg cast that Alejandra has for a couple of broken toes is all. It could have been so much worse. The accident was really a nasty accident, and the riders have all been told, look, okay, penalties for slow riding is one thing, but you've just got to be safe and respect everybody else.
Well, let's head down on to the grid then. We can speak with Domenico, who's caught up with Jurien van Kruchten.
Jurien, racing in front of your home crowd on a track that you know extremely well. What are your thoughts before the race, and how excited do you feel?
Well, I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to get started in this GP because, yeah, it's the home race. My expectation I need to enjoy. That's the most, because not everyone can be here, and I have the pleasure to be here, so I'm gonna enjoy.
All the best of luck. Have the best fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, lovely, articulate young man Jurien van Kruchten is, and of course he actually qualified. He'll be starting, today from 11th on the grid, which actually got to give a shout out to him. That's got to be one of his best qualifying performances to date.
Well, that's right, and he was quick all the way through. He was good in all the sessions, and last year he had a best result of 10th at Le Mans. He hasn't done that well so far this year, so let's hope the home crowd are really going to push him on to great things.
Blimey, I tell you what, the David Gonzalez fan club do a bit of moving around Europe, don't they, to come visit him really far north to come and watch him start from 2nd on the grid here today. But let's before we get going, head to the grid once again as Dommy's caught Gustav Alminger, one of our rider coaches.
Dear Gusto, we are back. Dear Gusto, we are back in Assen once again, the cathedral of speed. What makes this track so special?
It's very easy to explain. This track is made for motorbikes, and there's an amazing history on motorbikes, and the people love this TT week, and this is the spirit we feel.
Well, let's have an incredible race. I wish all the crowd to enjoy the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup, because we always provide incredible racing action.
Yeah, the good thing in the Rookies Cup, we have a very, very good group of brilliant riders. They all use the same bike, they all use the same material, they all use the same know-how, and this is more or less a guarantee to have a fantastic race.
Thank you so much, Gustav. Enjoy the race.
Thank you.
Yeah, the legend that is Gustav Alminger, and we were talking about David Gonzalez and his fans before the start. And David said, I said at lunchtime, what gearing are you going to use? He said, I haven't decided yet. So,
well, there we go. Well, it'll be a mystery. We'll find out whether he's leading across the line or not, or by the first turn, I suppose. Then, because every time we've been to Assen before, we didn't come last year, which of course I forgot. We speak about the different gearing options that they have got, but we'll come back to that. I'll just do a quick run through of the grid. So it is Sullivan Mounty starting from pole position today. Tomorrow he'll start from 3rd. Gonzalez and Ogiwara are row 1. Row 2 is Beñat Fernandez, Kratokville and Carlos Cano. Once again, great one-lap pace from Cano. Ramadipa, 3rd row, ahead of Tinez and Singapong. Christian Daniel heads the 4th row. Van Kruchten, the local rider, giving him a shout-out. David da Costa starts alongside him in 12th. Plonk, Bajosa, Pugliese, Varga, Agostinelli, Dakigan, Karpushin, Schmidt, Ethan Sparks, Borg, Borelli and Almeida are the 24 riders starting the Rookies Cup here race today.
And I think, you know, I'm going to keep a watch out for Ethan Sparks too, because he actually qualified 24th, but that totally belies, you know, his abilities around here. Of course, it's one of the few tracks he's been to before. He, you know, there's a British Talent Cup race here, so he knew his way around, and he was really good all the way through the free qualifying sessions. He just said qualifying, it didn't come together for him. He said, I never found a toe when I needed it. There were people in the way all the way around. He said, and it was just a complete mess. He said, but I can certainly go quicker than my qualifying times. He said, you know, I lapped in free practice over a second and a half quicker than that. So it'd be really interesting to see what Ethan does from, he's actually on the 7th row of the grid, thanks to the penalties from the other guys.
Well, I certainly hope it's a much less frustrating set of races that we had than we had in Mugello, Peter. I think sort of the mucking around and qualifying to me sort of rings familiar to what we saw in Mugello. I'm really looking forward to seeing some riders really grab the bull by the horns here today and say, I'm not worried about the rest of you, I'm having my own race, a bit Marco Morelli style last time we were here.
Well, that's exactly right, and Danny Rivolta said exactly that to the riders at the briefing, you know, sorting out the danger stuff. But he said, normally we have some guys who just stretch the field out. We always have, you know, close racing, but some guys who are willing to, as you say, grab the bull by the horns and go for it. And we haven't had that yet this year. And Danny said, come on, guys, some of you are capable of doing that. Just don't muck around, try and win it from the front.
And ultimately, that will make them better riders. We want them pushing each other, pushing those limits, breaking those limits, going beyond. We really, really want to see that, because that's what's going to make these Rookies Cup riders great World Championship riders of the future.
Exactly, and you mentioned Marco Morelli, and he won by a mile here in race 2 when we were here a couple of years ago. He should really have won race 1 as well, but he made a silly mistake, slid off at the Struben, and spoiled it. But he had the place sorted out. And interestingly, some people do sort it out. Of the 8 possible doubles we've had at Assen, 12 possible, we've had 8 double victories.
Wow.
Wins, you know, on race 1 and race 2, more than any other of the circuits. So if you get Assen right, you can get it right.
Let's see then. Well, riders lining up, red flag at the front of the grid, adrenaline flowing through the veins. The green flag waves, it's time to go racing here in Assen.
Yes, and it's 15 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action at the Dutch TT. The revs rise, somebody's looking around at the back there, the lights go out. It's good start, hard to see, good start from Beñat Fernandez, but it's the 97 of Riata. And Sullivan Mounsey goes for the lead. Does he go up the inside? He goes for the lead. Sullivan Mounsey superbly past 2 guys into the left-hander and Aguiwara into the right to lead across the line at the end of the first lap of the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup.
Well, he might have missed out on the whole shot, but Ryota Aguiwara picked his pocket as well into turn 1, and through he goes. Tibble Varga up and okay, walking away.